Hi everyone. Uh, Live question time here. I thought we'd do a live video just to go over the details of the walking tour that I've announced the details of. You may have seen the video on the channel. If you've watched it right to the end, which I hope you have, that's where a lot of the details is there. But actually, put him at the front of the video. That's like the cost of it, and just to beware to be wearing comfortable shoes because there's a lot of walking there on the weekend, and also it gives you some information on the hotels that there is in the area for anyone who's coming down and staying for a couple of days. So you'll be able to ask any questions here. Hi, Dave. So if you're interested in coming, you can ask any questions here, or any other on the buses questions. I'll answer them as well. But just mainly just to put across those points for the on the buses event. So it's set for the 18th and 19th of March. That's a Saturday and a Sunday in Borehamwood. There'll be two walking tours, one on the Saturday, one on the Sunday. Totally different filming locations covered on both days, and both will be £10 in cost. They'll probably run for about maybe 3 hours, maybe a little bit over 3 hours, depending on the pace that we can do to get everything in. So it should be a good weekend for anyone that's interested in popping along. I'll just pop up my email here just for anyone if they want to message me with any questions, or they want to let me know that they intend on if they want to let me know they're attending, that'd be great. So as I say, you can email me on that address there and say, yeah, I intend on coming, or if you've got any questions at all as well. The hotels in the area are you've got a Premier Inn, you've got Ibis or Ibis, however you say it, hotels. You've got two Travel Lodge hotels, and you've also got a Hilton Doubletree as well. So there's enough hotels there. There is a Elstree Inn that's in the town centre, that was formerly the Grosvenor Hotel, but it's not really one that I would recommend. I know once when all the hotels were booked up, I had to stay in there, and it wasn't a very pleasant experience, shall we say. So anyone got any questions about that walking tour, just you can ask, and I'll answer them for you. The first tour on the Saturday will be covering locations in central Borehamwood. So it'll be ones like the gasworks, the Butler House, Turnaround Betty's house, the back lot of Elstree Studios, where you see a lot of the filming locations from as well, where the depot was. The manhole cover on Bullhead Road, where Olive gets stuck down. Sally's house, which is further up Bullhead Road. The laundrette. That you see it features in the scene. It also features in the scene when they contact the policeman walking up the shop side of the shops. That's on the same street parade. Also take you down to the motorway where the bus gets diverted onto the motorway, and they run and take the sign away and put it up as well. Not the actual motorway itself, that's on the other side of Borehamwood and more over towards the Elstree end. Obviously, we won't be able to get right down to that location for obvious reasons. Yeah, certainly hope so, Dave. Also on the Saturday as well, I'll take you along to the where you see Stan knocking down the depot. Well, I'd say it's a depot. There's a lot of sort of like other people say they don't think it was a depot that he's knocking down at the end of Holiday on the Buses. I'm not sure about that, Scotty. I'll have to watch the episode again. I'll let you know if I pick up on that as well. Um, and Sunday will be up in Shenley, which is a little town that's about 2 miles to the northeast of Borehamwood. So it will be involving a bus journey up there. So do be prepared if you're coming to bring along bus fares there and back. You can get a day ticket, I do believe it is. So it's like a day return. So you get a bus there and you can catch a bus back if you hold on to the ticket. Obviously, Shenley will take in locations such as the public house that the woman driver comes out, the man watering his plants. It'll also cover it'll also cover they're not all the hotels, in fairness, because Borehamwood's not a big city or anything like that. It's a town, basically. A lot of the hotels, the nearest to the hotel that I would recommend staying in would be the Ibis or Ibis, whichever you say it. That's the one that's sort of nearest to the railway station. And then you've got two travel lodges and a Premier Inn, which are slightly further out. And right out on the eastern edge of Borehamwood, there's a Doubletree Hilton as well there. But I would, if you're wanting something that's as close as possible, then the Ibis is the closest one to the railway station, but it's still about maybe half a mile, 3/4 mile walk from the train station, but nothing major. Obviously, it's you can walk there in about 20 minutes from the train station. And they're all fairly easy to find the hotels in Borehamwood, which is handy. I mean, when you come out of the train station, you've got the sort of like a bus area where there's lots of bus stops. You just go out through that and take your left hand turn, and that brings you right out into Shenley Road. Turn right and walk all the way down Shenley Road. You'll pass the Tesco Extra where the studios were, and then pass the part of the studios that's still there, and then carry on, and you'll see the Ibis on the same road further down. Same with the rest of the hotels. If you carry on straight up on that road, you'll eventually come to one of the travel lodges and the Premier Inn. Yeah, you've got two travel lodges there. You've got one that's up on Studio Way. So once you pass the Ibis, about another maybe 100 yards further on, you come to sort of like a roundabout. You take your left hand turn there, and you're on to Studio Way. You carry on up the sort of like a slightly inclining road, and you can't miss it. On your left hand side is the Studio Way's travel lodge. It did used to be, in years gone by, it did used to be an innkeeper's, which was really good because it used to do a deal there. I remember it was very popular when we were doing the events down there, where you could get buy 2 nights and you got the third night free and all of that. But now it's been taken over and it's part of Travelodge. That's sort of gone now. But that's one travel lodge. The other travel lodge is back out onto the main road that I was telling you about, and carry on heading out of Borehamwood, and you'll come to the travel lodge about maybe 150 yards further on. So if you've got any questions about the hotels and all that, just keep asking away and I'll answer them for you. All your money, and they'll take all the money on the day. So if anybody's sort of like thinking about it and not sure that they can make it or not, don't just worry about it being a ticket sort of based event. I'll take the payment on the day anyway. So doesn't really sort of like matter if you're going to turn up on the day, or you can do that as well if you want. Yeah, if it's a last minute thing and you only find out you can make it on the day. What they'll probably do is, it's what I done last time when we had it down there. It'll probably be starting at the railway station. That's a good place to. So if anyone's just coming up from London, basically, and they're not staying in Borehamwood, then they'll know that I'll be able to meet them as soon as they come there. So, and people from Borehamwood can make their way down to the train station who are staying in hotels, and that's where the walking tour will start from, at the train station. In fairness as well, when you're talking like breakfast and all of that, there's a lovely little cafe that's on. It's called Jenny's. It's on the Shenley Road, the main road. Just basically, as far as film locations go, basically across the road from, diagonally across the road from the jeweller's shop that you see in Mutiny on the buses. The breakfasts that they do in there they're very substantial. They do various sorts of breakfasts. I mean, I've had ones in there they call, like, it's like an Olympic breakfast. You get a massive plate for £5. It's like, you get chips, bacon, egg, sausage, beans, toast, and a drink with it as well for £5. So you can't go far wrong with that either. So even if you just want to book the hotel and eat out at the one of the cafes, then that works as well. If you see what I mean. There's a couple of type of cafes like that. One's called Jenny's, and there's another one further up that's name escapes me just now. Yeah, that's Jenny's that you want to head for them, because they do a lot of, like, they've got like 4 or 5 different options. If you want a veggie breakfast, they can do that as well, with hash browns and stuff like that, and mushrooms and potato scones and stuff like that on the plate. Or you can have the full works and everything like that, or go for sort of like slightly less of the full works, if you see what I mean, and it varies in price. Yeah, the kids out in Scotty, that episode there, one of the kids on the bus was Lucy Allen, who was the producer Stuart Allen's daughter. And of course, she went on to be she is a stunt woman on films and TV. And another kid that was on the bus was actually Stephen Lewis's nephew, was Peter Lewis, who sadly passed away about maybe 3, 4 years ago, which is sad. Not long after his uncle had passed away. And of course, one of the kids that was in, one of the credited kids that was in that, they went on to be in the Bugsy Malone film as well, I do believe, if I remember rightly. Yeah, that was Alan Cotter's Scotty. That was the episode, the canteen girl, when Blake is about to leave and move into a farm with the canteen girl, who's played by Gay Brown in that episode. Wait, I'm just posting a message up on my group, on my Facebook group. And obviously, if you're coming along and if you're planning on coming along to the walking tour, you can feel free, as I say in that video, if you watched it right to the end, you would have seen the pages I put in at the end of it as well, where if you've got any copies in my books, feel free to bring them along and I'll be happy to sign them for you as well. And just to say as well, on another point, on a separate point, as you all know as well, well, it was apt enough as well when the walking tour is for the 18th and 19th of March, which is, I think it'll be about 3 weeks, 50 years and 3 weeks after On the Buses started. So I think the very first episode of On the Buses aired on the 28th of February 1969. So it'll be sort of like that'll be since Holiday on the Buses, so the 50th anniversary. So it'll be the 54 years and 3 months since On the Buses started that the walking tour will come. But this year is the 50th anniversary, as you all know, of Holiday on the Buses. Now, anyone that's on this group, you may have seen a little post go up earlier on. So that's something to watch out for in the coming weeks. News of our anniversary event in Prestaton. Just watch the space for breaking news and details. That post there that I've sent you a link to there on the screen, that is basically the event that will have the celebrities there. Don't get it confused, and people always do it all the time. Don't get it confused with the fan club event. Ours is on a different level to the fan club event. Ours will have celebrities there. It'll have the leading expert on the filming locations there, and I'll be comparing it as well. The fan club event is Crazy Golf, basically, and I'll get together. So there's no comparison between the two. If you're on the Buses connoisseur, then it's that event that I've posted your link to there. That's just a little spoiler, a little sort of like taster for the Holiday on the Buses official cast reunion event, which I mention more details on as and when they break. So that's the event that you want to be involved in, if you see what I mean. Yes, Scotty, first film Wendy Richards was in, when Wendy Richard was in, not Richards, Wendy Richard. So you know what to do. Just keep your questions coming in. It can be about the walking tour, the walking tours, or anything to do with On the Buses. Just post them up and I will answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. Well, same as when I've done it, I think it was either last year or the year before that. It was like it lasted for about 3 hours. So we started at 10 o'clock, which seems a good enough time to start at. but it's a sort of like a flexible time. If I can always put up like polls if people would like a little bit longer to get there. So if they wanted it to start at 11 o'clock, and I can start at 11 o'clock as well. So it's up to the. I can always put up polls to see what suits people better. If you see what I mean. But the last one that we done was started at 10 o'clock for it. The tour. And the Sunday will be the same as well. We'll start from the train station on the Sunday as well. Again, for the same reason, if there's anybody that's coming into Borehamwood by train, it's easy for them to meet us there. And people obviously who are in Borehamwood in hotels, it's not exactly a big deal to get to the train station to start the event. So it's easy for everybody that way. Yeah, I'll probably be down there for about 3 days anyway. I'll probably be down arriving probably on the Friday, hopefully, and be there the Saturday, the Sunday, and then I'll travel back up to Scotland on the Monday. I would have thought that's the plan anyway. Thing is with what you've got to remember is, Scotty, a lot of the clippies only had fleeting episodes for the simple reason as the Stan and Jack never had a steady girlfriend really in all of the episodes anyway. So what part would you have her playing that would be humorous if she wasn't sort of like dating Stan or Jack, if you see what I mean, which wouldn't have happened because they didn't really date anyone over a long period. That wasn't the style of the thingy, so that's why there was lots and lots of different clippies, if you see what I mean. So it's not really a sort of thing that would have worked, if you see what I mean, over having it in lots and lots of episodes. That's why you see a lot. There are a few, like you had Eunice Black, who was in a lot of episodes. You had Olivia Breeze and Ursula Mohan was in a few episodes as well, but they tended to play different characters, not the same sort of character. That's the only way that Wendy Richard would have been in a lot of them anyway, but she was active doing a lot of things anyway, so. That one's Union Trouble. That's what it's called, Scotty. So if you're just joining the chat, remember, if you've got any questions about the walking tour weekend, if you've looked at the video, fancy it, then ask here for any more information on it. As I say, tickets for it is £10 for each tour, so £10 on the Saturday if you just want to come to the Saturday and not the Sunday, or vice versa. If you just want to come to the Sunday, it'll be £10. If you're going to come along with a kid who's under 16, then the kid can come along for £5 for the ticket. So anything else you want to know, just ask here. As I say, watch that video as well, or even watch the end of it. That's the more pertinent part at the end of it, because there's a few information boards at the end of the video there where it lists the hotels, tells you about how long the tour will last for, the sort of places we'll be visiting, and also the cost of the tour. And it's got me the who to contact about the if you're interested. And if you're on my Facebook group as well, which I'm sure a lot of people here will be now, we've just done the run through of the Mutiny on the Buses location. So next up on that page, it will be the Holiday on the Buses locations will be starting at the weekend coming up. So there'll be a few days without any locations being posted now, between the Mutiny on the Buses ending and Holiday on the Buses starting. Yeah, watch the space, Scotty. More details hopefully coming on our Holiday on the Buses event to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Holiday on the Buses. The Castle Union event is the one that you want to go to, basically. That's the one that will have celebrities there. That's the one that will have me doing the walking tours with all the information as well flung in there as well, and me comparing the event as well. I'm not the chief organizer, that's somebody else. But as soon as I get any more information on it, I'll pass it on, and it will be on that event. I posted up earlier the group. I posted up the link to earlier, which is the official Holiday on the Buses Castle Union events. It's a beauty spot, so it's not really changed there, Scotty. Thankfully, it's not somewhere that they're going to develop on, for the simple reason it's sort of like a protected beauty spot, so that won't really change. Obviously, a lot more trees have grown there now over on the right-hand side. That the as you look when you see the bus stopping, there's a lot more trees there now. Oh yeah, it's a busy road. There's no doubt about that. Much busier than what it would appear that you see in the episode of On the Buses, but no doubt it would have stopped traffic at points just so that they could film that scene without a doubt. So you know what to do. Keep your questions coming in. Walking tour weekend, 18th, 19th of March, Saturday the 18th, Sunday the 19th of March. Yeah, no doubt. Just to say as well, someone again on the Facebook group sort of irked me a bit, I suppose, when they posted up twice. I did try hiding the first comment because it was very inflammatory, claiming that the cast had never got on and everything, which is a load of nonsense. He insists that he's read it in articles and things like that. So take it as that being newspaper articles that go around trying to dig dirt on the cast. Which is total codswallop. And I did tell the person on the group there that I've spoken to cast members, I've spoken to writers, I've spoken to main cast members and family members of main cast members, and they all say the same. The cast got on great together. You need more further evidence. I mean, Doris Sayre says it a couple of times in various interviews. One's on the This Is Your Life that she does. Says that they all got on like one great big happy family. I think she says that in might be the LWT. I don't know if it's the LWT birthday celebration show or something like that, or something else that she was on anyway. That she said exactly the same. Bob Grant and Stephen Lewis knew each other since the 1950s, and of course, Stephen Lewis was Bob Grant's best man at his wedding. All of the cast attended Bob Grant's wedding as well. You probably have seen photographs of Bob's wedding in 1971, I think it was. So you've got all the evidence there, Bob, and I think it's in my interview that I've got up on here on the group, on the channel here. Bob says that he spoke to Wedge once a week, and this was like 10 years after On the Buses had finished. So he was still in contact with him. So he said wished he'd get to work with him again one day. So there's the evidence is irrefutable. Ronnie Wolf, Ronnie Chesney at the events I organised, he said that they said exactly the same, that it was a chemistry between the cast and how well they got on that made the show work. So what more evidence do you really need rather than listening to some scummy Sun newspaper or we all know they're like just out to dig up dirt? Yeah, she's been in. She's in a lot of things in small parts. She's in, I think, the Steptoe film as well. Steptoe's Son film. I think she's in one or two. She might have one or two small parts in Carry On films. I'm not too sure, but she's in a heck of a lot of stuff. Hilda Barry, her name was. So again, for anyone joining, if you've got any questions about the walking tour weekend, post them up here. I'll answer them for you as well. Anything to do with that. And as I say, if you see the link halfway up the page there that I posted, that's to a group, the Holiday on the Buses Cast Reunion event. That's Dangerous Driving, that episode. Scotty, you can That's the place where you'll see any breaking news on the Holiday on the Buses event, Castle Union event. That is official Holiday on the Buses Castle Union event. Not a date's not been set yet, but there will be news coming in that in the coming few weeks. So as soon as I hear anything, I'll post it up here for you. That I will be involved in that event, doing the locations tours and comparing the event. There will be celebrities there as well. Hopefully, the likes of Sandra Bryant and Kate Williams, and hopefully Little Arthur. So Adam Rhodes. So just keep your eye out for announcements on that. That is not the fan club event. I'll say again, not the fan club event. The fan club event is something on a totally different scale to what we do. So just keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. No, he wouldn't have fallen down the stairs. You don't actually see that. You just hear noises, and then the door opens, and you see him lying on top of the woman. So I wouldn't take anything on that. Anything that they could do with minimum amount of stunts, then that's how they done it. Basically, you'd hear noises, and then you'd open the door up, and then you'd automatically, I presume, you'd fallen down the stairs. So keep your questions coming in. I'm just going over the details of the buses for the Sunday part of the event, if you're wondering what I'm scrolling around at now, so I can give you more information on that. Yeah, more than likely, definitely, Scotty. A lot of it was done like that, just studio in the background. of course, it depends how many we get on the Sunday on the staying over as well. I'm more than happy to do a sort of like a Q&A at a pub or something like that on the Saturday night between the Saturday and Sunday tour, if anyone's interested in that as well. Could be at one of the hotels where it's most busy for most people are staying at. I don't mind turning up there and sitting around having a pint and people can ask me whatever questions they want. Happy to do that as part of the event as well. Yeah, it wasn't fog, it was just a smoke machine that they used. That was all inside the studios. They've done that as well, just a smoke machine. So keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. Anything you want to know about the walking tour, just ask away now and I'll answer them for you. Anything to do with my books or filming locations or the cast and crew or the episodes or films, just ask away and I'll answer them for you. I think there's only one from the TV series. I think it's the one that's I think it was license plate ADVW 399F. I do believe that might be down in France or something where that is. This is quite a good place if you're looking for these sorts of things. Anyway, Scotty, I'll just send you a link to it. Be interested in that, Scotty. Have a look there. Yeah, the theme didn't change any. The theme didn't change in terms of speed. But obviously, they had to change the credits. Obviously, with Reg not being in it, obviously they had to take him out of the opening credits. Obviously, because he wasn't going to be in the episodes. So keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. Oh yeah, they would have got clearance for all that sort of thing there, Scotty, definitely. It's quite a quiet road that they done that on anyway. It wasn't a main street or anything like that. Just a residential street, so it would have been a lot easier to get clearance for it anyway. Wouldn't have been holding up any. It wasn't a main thoroughfare road or anything like that. So keep your questions coming in. If you've got any questions at all about on the buses or anything to do with the walk-in tours, and post them up, and I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 1971, 1970, 71. Christmas episodes came in, I do believe. Oh, sorry, 1970, 71, late 70s and late 71. So late 70 was the Christmas duty one, and late 71 was the Boxing Day social. Series 4, Series 5. So post up your questions, anything to do with on the buses, anything to do with the walking tours. Just post them up and I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. If you scroll up, you will see that there's a link to our Facebook group, which will be watch that space for breaking news on the 50th anniversary official Holiday on the Buses Castle Union event. Just a reminder again, that is not the fan club event. Fan club event is a totally different thing altogether. Castle Union event will have celebrities, top-notch celebrities. It'll have me doing the walking tour and comparing it, and a lot more. Whereas your fan club event is just like a get-together with Crazy Golf flung in there, so no comparison really. How many locations? Well, the Saturday event, the Saturday event, I would easily say it'd be somewhere around 50, maybe even more for the Saturday event. Sunday event, maybe slightly less because we're heading up to Shenley there. Shenley might be about maybe 25. But don't quote me on that. That's just a rough estimate off the top of my head, if you see what I mean. It depends, as I say, what sort of time that we make when we're on those tours. Obviously, if it overstretches 3 hours, then fair enough. I don't think anyone's going to grumble because the trains do run until really late. If anyone's travelling up from London and worried about catching a train back, the trains run really late from Borehamwood into London anyway. And anyway, the tour's not going to run past the point of where it starts getting dark. I think by March time, it'll probably be light until about maybe 5:30 or something like that, I would say. but certainly the Saturday will be, I would say, probably in excess of 50 locations, I would say, thinking about it now. And I will have what I will have for people who are coming. You just hold on a tick. I'll have stuff like these for you as well, for these people that are coming along to the event. So you'll be able to see where the locations are. I'll be able to sort of like point them out for you, like let's see. Not actually got the ones here that we'll be visiting, but that's just an example. There'll be something similar to this. Just show you that, and you'll be able to match up in the background where we are and all of that to so you'll get a real good idea of what it looked like when they filmed there. As I say, it'd be good if people can sort of like maybe email me and let me know if they're happy to, if they're intending on attending. Because obviously, the more people that we have there, the longer it's going to be sort of like taking in the locations. Because I know what it's like when we used to do walking tours as part of the on the buses event before we had the buses, or sometimes you would do our walking tour on the Sunday. The line of people can get stretched out, and such as a different pace that people walk at. So by the time, if I'm at the head of the tour, giving people time to catch up before, so that they can hear where the location was and everything like that. It can take sort of like time like that. So it depends on how many people we actually have attending the event, for how long the event will stretch, if you see what I mean. Tend to find that the more people that you have attending, then the longer it takes to do, because you've got to wait for people to catch up before you tell people about the location that you're at and all of that sort of stuff. That's from my experience anyway. Yeah, that was the beginning in 1973, about maybe February time, January, February 1973. So it would have been cold, obviously. Winters used to be, I tend to find, used to be really even colder back then. No, Anna was in Ilford. Doris lived in Putney Bridge. Reg lived in Enfield. Stephen, I think, lived down in East London around about Wanstead, I think, and Bob lived in, I think it was like in the Fulham area that Bob lived in. So I hope that answers your question, Les. And Michael was in Wimbledon, I do believe. That's where Michael was, in Wimbledon. Well, she did work most of her life down in London, so that probably grew under that sort of accent anyway. Although she did put on a bit of the accent anyway, she was pretty poshly spoken in real life, but actors can do that. They can put on all sorts of accents. So keep your questions coming in. If you've got any more questions about on the buses, anything to do with a walk-in tour or anything like that, then post them up and I'll answer them for you while I'm here. Evening, fat lad. So if you've got any questions about the walk-in tour, just post them up and I'll ask them for you. Or anything to do with on the buses at all, I'll answer them as well while I'm here. And as I say, watch the space because there will be breaking news on the 50th anniversary Holiday on the Buses event. As I say, that's not the fan club event, not the fan club event. This is the official cast reunion event, which will have attending cast members. Yeah, the film's done great. Fat Lad, as I said before, I mean the first film was the biggest box office earner for Hammer. Kept him in business, kept him solvent for throughout until the end of the 1970s with the amount of money it made. The second film was certainly not a flop. It wasn't as a bigger box office earner as the first film. And then Holiday on the Bus is again not quite as so they've gradually decreased in terms of the box office earnings, but they still did really well. Obviously, you can tell how well the first film actually done with Hammer, because they signed up for a 2-film package on the back of how well the first film done. That's why in the second film, in Mutiny on the Buses, you see on the side of the bus pontons, because they already had in mind that Holiday on the Buses story for the third film to be filmed at the studios. The last series aired on TV in 1973 for the first time. That's when it premiered, like 1973. So that ran from about January till May 1973. So keep your questions coming in. Can be anything to do with the walking tour, which has now got a set date. That's Saturday the 18th and Sunday the 19th of March. Just to run through again, you can pay on the day. So if you're right up until the last minute, you're not sure you're going to be able to make it, don't worry about it being a ticketed event or anything like that. You can just turn up at the train station. I'll be waiting outside the train station, and you can just say I want to join the tour, and that's fine. You just pay on the day, if you see what I mean. That's the way it mainly went, I think, really, with a lot of people, because the films were basically, I think they were like a constantly repeated, whereas, as I've said before, with the TV series, they weren't repeated from about maybe the late 70s right up until sort of like the early to mid 1990s. So any new generation of fans around about then would have been brought up on the films. They probably wouldn't have known nothing about the TV series, if you see what I mean. We're illegally here on the YouTube though, Scotty. That's the thing. And what you've got to remember is it's sort of like you're betraying the celebrities, the stars, the actors that were in it, because they get paid for the royalties off of the repeats on the telly, if you see what I mean. So they shouldn't be on YouTube. It's copyright infringement. Any full-blown episodes that are downloaded to YouTube are there illegally, if you see what I mean. So you're best sticking to watching them on the DVD. It's what I would say. At least you know you're doing things within the law, that sort of thing. But if you must, you must. I suppose if that's the way you feel about, you want to watch it on YouTube. So keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. By the way, it's good to see with the subscribers for the channel now. I'm nearly up to 1,700 subscribers, which is really good. I've picked up about 90 odd in the first month of the year, which is really good. Hopefully sometime this year, as I said, at the new year, I think I'd said it in my New Year, the last chat that we done. Hopefully, can get through 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. The way we're going at the moment, it looks like that will be easily achievable. Cheers, Algernon. The cast, what they made from the episodes, differed from for each cast member. Obviously, for your main earner would have been Reg Varney because he was the star of the show, so he was the top earner for sure. Probably per episode, I would say was on maybe something like 100 to 150 pounds. So that's sort of like 100 up to 150 pounds an episode. So if you think he done what 70 episodes, if you got to remember that's back in 1970s as well. If you see what I mean, your likes of for a series, obviously, say series 3, that's like over £1,000 for what 3-4 months work. Plus, he had all the other stuff that he could do in his time as well. Once on the buses and finished filming, the films would be a little bit more different. Obviously, the likes of Doris here would have probably been the second biggest earner, I would say, because she was the big box office sort of like name, where the rest of them weren't so much. But probably wouldn't have been on anywhere near as much as Stan got. Probably maybe about £70 an episode, something like that. Then going down to probably 60, 50, 40, down to about that amount, if you see what I mean. Yeah, that's right. I can point all of that out as well, Fox Mulder. For the films, as I say, Fat Lad, for the films, it's slightly more. Like Reg would have probably been maybe on about £10,000 a film, I would say. I think Sid was on more than 3,000 though, I think, because I think Kenny got like about 10 to 12,000 or something like that. Kenny did. So I'm sure Sid got somewhere up near around them. It was the lesser stars that really got like a stone down to what they earned. So Reg was a top earner. He would have earned, I would say, easily between £5,000 and £10,000 for a film, if you see what I mean. As I say, the same with the rest of the cast that would have been downwards after that for what Reg was the star of the show, and it was reflected in the earnings. Yeah, that's right. What Fox Mulder says there. Obviously, they walk into they won't just be. Obviously, I'll take the opportunity to point out other little facts of what else was filmed around there. Obviously, there's locations that will pass that are seen in the Rise and Damp film and the Likely Lads film, and also episode of Brandon Hopkirk Deceased. Stuff like that. So I'll point out little stuff like that along the way as well. And what you've got to remember when you're talking about the money that they earned back then, you may think now and say, oh, that was hardly anything. But we're talking 1970s, like for you could buy a house for about, I don't know, I think it was about £10,000, you know what I mean? So back then, that's everything costs a lot less. You could probably get a Rolls Royce for about maybe about £5,000-10,000 or something like that. Yeah, there's also as well another one that comes to mind, Fox Mulder, is off with the same pet. Obviously, there's a bit where Bomber's waiting to catch the he thumbs that he stops a bus and jumps on it. That's on the Shenley Road as well. There's the Champions as well as an episode of the Champions that was filmed on Shenley Road also. So you got any more questions? Just keep posting them up and I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. I've got a book there that I can tell you for sure what the Carry On Films stars had. I think I've got it here somewhere. Here we go. So I can tell you for sure what they earned, because I've got it here somewhere. It's in the back of this Carry On book that I've got. Don't know if it lists it in there. I'm sure it does somewhere. Just keep posting the questions up, and then when I come across the relevant info, I can pass it on to you. I think it's on Wikipedia as well. I think it's got listed in terms of how much they earned. This book's got a fair few. I've got a fair few good signatures in this book as well, by the way. I just noticed I've got one of the late Bernie Cribbins in there, Jim Dale. I think I've got Liz Fraser to sign this as well a few years back at an event in Elstree. If not on there, I know I've seen it somewhere, but I think it might be on Wikipedia as well, where it lists how much the Carry On stars got. As I say, I know that the bigger earner was like your Kenny Williams, and he was on something like around £10,000-12,000 or something like that. Yeah, cheers, Paul. Yeah, it's good to see that I'm getting in the subscribers now. And as I said, I'm nearly up to maybe 1,700 now. Yeah, that's what I mean. A lot of people don't sort of like see that. A lot of people just see how much it was then and automatically equate it to what it gets you today. It's the amount of money there is totally different in terms of how much it was worth back then, if you see what I mean. I mean, there are locations as well on north of Borehamwood, but we won't really be taking them in this time around. Last time we've done the walking tour, I think we've done one on a Saturday, Sunday as well. We've done Central Borehamwood, we've done North Borehamwood, I do believe, on the Sunday. That'll be slightly different this year. It'll be Central Borehamwood and Shenley will be taken in. So it'll be just a case of hopping on the bus, getting the bus out to Shenley. I think the 357 or the 358 from Borehamwood will take us up to Shenley, and then we can do the walking tour from Shenley. And there's a fair few there. You've got the pub where the man's watering his plants. You've got the lay-by that Stan gives after his driving lessons in. You've got the traffic island that the motorbike splits and goes one way, the sidecar goes the other way. You've got the actual bit where the motorbike comes, the sidecar comes to rest, and where Stan flags down the bus. You've also got the country lit road that the bus comes along and the clippy gets out and runs to behind the bush to have a pee. And the parson upstairs has a look at it looks down on her from the upper deck. We'll also take those locations in on the Sunday as well. When the door opens, yeah, when the door actually opens, because you see the full panorama, but when the monkey's on the steering wheel, that was all done back at the studios. Well, that's it. It's like I say on my video there, Fox Mulder, I did say that there's a lot of eateries around in Borehamwood, a lot of little cafes, coffee shops. Even out once we've done a bit of walking and we're getting sort of like out of the town centre up to Manor Way where the laundrette is, there's even a coffee shop there as well. So plenty of opportunities for refreshments. Evening, Cheetah. Yeah, that's the Deserve Falls, that is. Where that coffee, where the little shoppers and holiday on the buses. So as I say, anyone that's interested in coming along, they can always email me. I'll post up my email address again, just for anybody who's just come joining the conversation. And pop me an email, and if you've got any more questions that you don't want to ask here, you can ask me them in an email, or you can email me and say I'm interested in coming. So I've got an idea of numbers. Obviously, there's no limit to the numbers that can come on it, but obviously the more people that we get on it, then obviously the little bit more slower the tour will probably move to, because people walk at different paces, really. But I would say bring along your James, the dates are the 18th and 19th of March. There's a video up on the channel anyway I'll just get the video for you to watch anyway, or I'll give you a link to the video so you can go and look at it in your leisure. Just hold on just now. And that's got details of it on there as well. So that video there, James, that'll tell you as well. If you watch it right to the end, right to the very end of it, that's where the pertinent facts come in terms of the dates and stuff like that, and the hotels and traveling for how to get there and all that. It's all on that video there. But it's the 18th and 19th of March. So the 18th, Saturday the 18th of March, Sunday the 19th of March are the 2 days of the walking tours. Be £10 for each day. Yeah, you've still got quite a few that are still with us. Fat Lad, you've got Kate Williams, Sandra Bryan, Adam Rhodes, Carolee Donahue, Brenda Gogan, Andrea Lawrence, Patricia Clapton, Olivia Dees, Gay Brown, John Lyons, Deirdre Costello, Sheldon L. Russell, Jules Walter, obviously Jean Varney, lots more than that. I just can't think of the top of my off the top of my head. Yeah, that's and also as well, let's see, Linda Regan, of course. So there's a fair few, a lot more as well that I just can't think off the top of my head. As Jeanette Mahoney's still with us as well, and Rudolph Walker, yeah, and Wayne Westwood, who played Larther in the and Mutiny and Mutiny on the Buses. So keep your questions coming in. If you've got any more questions, just post them up and I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them. Nina West, that's another one who's still with us. And Caroline Dowdeswell is another one as well. The Parson as well, still with us. David Rowlands. The last I heard, he now runs a farm in either South Wales, it might be. Also still with us, of course, is oh Christ, Gavin Campbell, the motorcycle cop. No, Scotty sadly, Gigi Gatti, she sadly passed away in the 1980s. Do believe it was cancer that she was struck down with, sadly. So keep your questions coming in, and I'll answer them for you. It can be anything to do with the walking tour. If you've got any questions, post them up, and I'll answer them for you. As I say as well, watch the space in the coming weeks. There'll be more news about the 50th anniversary holiday on the buses event, which is the official Castle Union event, not, and I repeat, not the fan club event. People make this assumption and assertion that they're both the same. Fan club event is totally different scale to the Castle Union event. Castle Union event will have celebrities there. That'll have me doing the walking tour and the bus tour and the comparing. Have all my knowledge there. The fan club event is more of just a get together and a crazy golf weekend. Gwendolyn Watts passed away as well. I think that might have been cancer as well. I think I might be right in saying. As I said, Fat Lad, as I just said, Gigi Gatti, she's passed away from cancer. I think it was in the 1980s when she passed. I'll soon be able to tell you. I'll tell you when she passed. I've got it marked. Just get my A to Z book out. It'll tell me in there when she actually passed. No, it was a little bit later than that. Sorry, it was 2003. She was 66 when she passed, sadly. The house, the manager's house is up on, I don't want to say the exact location where it is. It's up on the hills, on the hillside as you look down on Prestatyn. But that's where it is, the manager's house. No, I'll be just pointing out all of the filming locations. My expertise doesn't stretch to old time dancing or toilet replacements. Of course, Fox Mulder will know the name, but my name I just can't remember. She's still with us as the actress. She was in an episode. She was in the football match episode, and she was also in the episode and the first spin-off film when Stan asks her if she wants to go out for a meal or something like that. She goes, "What? You must be joking." Oh God, it's going to bother me. I'll find out because it's going to bother me. It's on the commentary. It's on Fox Mulder's page as well. The commentary that we've done for the episode as well, the football match. Jeanette Wild. I knew it was Jeanette. Yeah, she's still with us. Yeah. So there's. Yeah, she was in a couple of episodes. I think it was late 40s, I think, when it started. Just trying to think. And of course, Helen Fraser's still with us as well. Who played obviously Linda? Who played? He played Thingy's sister, Arthur's sister. So just keep your questions coming in. Any more questions about the walking tour? Ask away and I'll answer them for you. I know someone asked this the last time I done this, when I done the walking tour. Well, it's good, Martin. Hope you enjoy it. Remember and address the haggis. I remember the last time that someone, I think Stan was supposed to be in his late 30s. In terms of, I remember the last time when I done this walking tour, I had people asking if I was going to do a video while I was on it, and it's not really possible, and not really possible to do. You've got to remember that I'm having to actually hold up screen grabs and explain the location, so I can't be holding a camera filming myself at the same time, if you see what I mean. So it's not something that can be done. I know I had one or two people asking if there was any way I could record it and put it up onto the channel, but it's not really possible. I'm too busy doing other things, if you see what I mean. Obviously telling people about the locations and holding up screen grabs. I can't be holding a phone recording a video at the same time. I'm sure people will understand. Actors are never really retired, though, Scotty. If something comes along, you could always tempt an actor who said they've retired to come back out of this retirement to do another role somewhere or other. You see what I mean? So, as I say, for anyone who's joined and are thinking about coming to the event, the hotels that you've got there obviously there's a number of budget chain hotels, so that's good for price wise. You've got the Ibis or Ibis, however you want to say it. You've got 2 travel lodges. You've got a Premier Inn, and you've got Doubletree Hilton there as well, all in Borehamwood. So there's a good few amount of hotels to choose from. Well, the viewing figures it was bringing in between, obviously it went up as the popularity grew, but probably averaged about maybe 10 million an episode. You got to remember back then that things were different. There was less TVs, but on the other side of the coin, there was less channels as well. You only had BBC One, BBC Two, and ITV, and that was it in terms of the channel choice. So it would be like sort of more TVs were getting bought. So the TV numbers were going up in terms of the amount of people that own TV sets gradually was growing around that time as well. But also there was fewer channels for people to watch. So I think early doors, like the first series, I think they probably, I'll be able to tell you. Hold on just now. Let's see. I'll soon tell you just now. Hi, Anthony. I'll soon tell you now, fat lad. I'll just get my glasses again. I'll be able to tell you. So So Sirius and Sirius 1, you were getting 6.9 million viewers. Sirius 2, Sirius 3 have grown up to about just over 8 million viewers. You also had like about 8.5 million, and then obviously it started to tail off a bit. Sirius 6, you had just over 8 million. And even Sirius 7, when people were saying that the quality had drifted away by then, it was still pulling in sort of like just under 7 million viewers. Got to remember back then that there wasn't so many people with TV sets. Like nowadays, everybody's got a TV set. And it was always top out in the top 10. I mean, Series 3, I think, was at its pinnacle, where it even topped the viewing charts as well. That was when it was really at its height, with the best episodes and at the very peak of its popularity, I would say. Series 3, Series 4. So you know what to do. Any questions about on the buses or anything to do with a walk-in tour, just post them up and ask away. So just to say again as well, as I say, that's a group as well that might interest you on Facebook. Maybe join that, and that's where you'll find breaking news about the official Holiday on the Buses cast reunion event planned for later on this year to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Holiday on the Buses. That's probably the place you want to join up, and you'll find all the latest breaking news on that group there, or on my locations group. I'll keep you posted, and on this Facebook channel as well. That's in Borehamwood, Fat Lad. It's just sort of like east of the west, just about maybe 50 yards west of Borehamwood football ground. About let's see, it would be about maybe 100 yards south of the north, 100 yards north of the studios. No, I wouldn't say it was a council estate. I would say those were bought houses around that area. The ones that you see the bus getting diverted down in the first film, when it goes down the street, with all sort of like white houses on one side, and that would have certainly been council houses around there, council estate. And just to say as well, I will be down in London again in about maybe a couple of weeks' time. I'll be down there to just over 2 weeks' time. I'll be down there photographing more locations. So I'll be recording videos as well. That'll be in the areas of Battersea and Peckham in London. So look out for more locations videos coming up in February, towards the end of February. Yeah, that's not changed at all. Well, but Victoria House and Pellet Grove and Wood Green, it's still virtually unchanged. I wouldn't say. I mean, the thing is, BBC were well stacked with top quality sitcoms around then anyway, so I don't think it's something that they particularly regret, if you see what I mean. Because don't forget, around that time they had Dad's Army, Steptoe and Son, Till Death Us Do Part. So they weren't sort of short of they weren't short of quality sitcoms, if you see what I mean. They just felt that it wasn't their sort of material they'd be interested in. It wasn't sort of, it was seen as being too working class, I think, for the BBC at that time. That's why it ended up on LWT, thankfully. So keep your questions coming in. I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. Can be anything to do with a walking tour or on the buses in general. It's a tough one to say, really, Fat Lad. I mean, I tend to think it might have been moderated a little bit more, if you see what I mean. Sort of like toned down on the saucy humour of it. So I think it's a good thing that it went to LWT, where it was sort of like given a little bit, probably given a little bit more of a freer rein, if you see what I mean. I mean, if obviously if the BBC had any doubts about it, like obviously being too working class and all that, that says it all really. I mean, it probably would have been more prone to sort of like saying, oh, you can't do this, can't do that, cut this bit out or change that a bit. So I think it would have been more toned down. Yeah, I do, but not sort of to hand. They might be through in the other room there. The stills from the front of the house, the Butler House in 2 Malden Road in Borehamwood. Well, they also had around that time as well, didn't they? They also, well, I don't know if that was still running then. They also had the Likely Lads as well, remember, around that time. Well, Reg, you've got to remember that Reg in the sort of like the early 80s, obviously had already in the mid 1960s had a heart attack. And then by the 1980s, early 80s, he had a series of strokes, which really did put him into retirement mode then. So he wasn't going to be like Stephen Lewis was still fit and healthy and fine to do things like that. Whereas with Reg, he was in a little bit poorer health, if you see what I mean. Wasn't probably up to doing TV appearances like that. That's why he really virtually disappeared off the TV scene in the 80s, 90s. He only done sort of like, thinking, what was it called? Something, Red Peppers, was that? Something like that called? He wasn't really a mainstream on TV, whereas Stephen was, and he was still doing stuff like old Dr. Beaching and Last of the Summer Wine and all of that. Yeah, but it wasn't mainstream, if you see what I mean. They were like brief cameo, sort of what you would call cameo appearances and stuff, whereas Stephen was in full blown series of Oh Dr. Beaching and Last of the Summer Wine and such like. Films like The Craze and all of that. He was very much more active and he remained active, whereas Reg, as I said, he had health issues. And plus, as well, he was had other parts of things that he was getting into then, like his painting and all that as well. So keep your questions coming in. And I'll answer them for you as soon as I see them on the screen. Seen clips of it and bits and bobs of it. I think it's on YouTube or something like that. Yeah, that was his retreat during the summer, during the winter months, I think. He went out there and stayed there when it was nice and warm. Yeah, Anthony, and that's what he was happy doing. He was that's what he loved doing more than anything. Like he was like Michael Robbins. They both loved doing stage work more than anything else, and he was happy doing that. I think it's my interview that I've got up on the YouTube channel where he's asked a question around about this is like over 5 years after On the Buses had finished, and they'd been active on stage all that time. And he's asked what his plans were for the future, and he said more stage work. He never said, "Oh, I'd like to go back onto TV again and do TV work." It was stage work. He wanted to do more stage work and do more on the, I think it was on the producing, directing side of the stage work as well. So that's what Bob's interest was. Well, he done radio work as well. He done radio shows. I think he done Don Quixote and some other sort of classical stuff on radio as well. So he was active on radio and theatre as well after On the Buses had ended. Yeah, that'd be around about the time he done a series of stuff up in Pitlochry Theatre in the early 90s, up until sort of like maybe even the mid 1990s. I think he's appearing there when he's in the Wogan show because he mentions it. Fancy got a plug in for he's appearing at Pitlochry Theatre. I think he actually mentions it in the Wogan show. So keep asking your questions and I'll answer them as soon as I see them on the screen. Any more questions about the walk-in tours, anything like that, ask away. I was going to say that, James, exactly. It didn't happen. It would have been stopped. They would have stopped filming with the bus going towards it, and then they would have replaced it with a false upper deck, if you see what I mean. If you're talking about the radio control episode filmed up in Oxbridge in North Way, if that's the one you're talking about, then we'd never have been up near the thingy anyway. They just stopped filming as the bus was coming towards the bridge, and then replaced it under the bridge. It would have been a single deck bus with a false upper deck on the on top. No, it wasn't going to be a remake. It was just going to be like a continuation, like a sequel to it. But just didn't come about because the funding fell through on it. Don't think they probably gave up on the idea, but the thing that really killed it off would have been Michael Robbins' passing just about a year after it was first talked about, the reunion. But as has been said, I just don't think it would have, like James was saying earlier, and I think I've said it on here before. The only reason I would have liked to have seen it get made is it might have been a boost to Bob, and things might have turned out differently for Bob. Might have prevented any more mental breakdowns, if you see what I mean, or put them off a little bit longer. But that's about the only reason I would say, really, because they have these new characters coming in. If you have a look at in the back of the scripts, actually, in the back of Ronnie Wolf's book that he brought out, that was produced by, published by Kaleidoscope, which is this book here. So it had like sort of like Reg was Stan was had a wife and a kid or two, I think, in it, and so I think they would have padded out those characters would have had to have taken up a lot of the more lines. And when you start throwing in new characters into a settled situation, and if they're not absolutely spot on actors and our timing's not as good, then it just spoils the whole flow of it, if you see what I mean. You weren't going to have the same, it wasn't going to be set in a bus depot as such. It was just going to be, I think, Stan and Jack were running a sort of like a coach company, a bus sort of like a coach company, and Blakey was like a regulator who came round and would check that they were running it properly and all of that. So it's different dynamics as well. It's just the that episode there that I know of that they wrote when we were doing the pilot episode. Whether there's any other any of the rest of it written, wouldn't know for sure. And the way that these sorts of things happened anyway is they would have had the pilot episode, seen how that worked. If they got good feedback on it, obviously, and it proved popular, then obviously they would have been asked to write more episodes. That's how it normally works in the industry, anyway. This would have been the same cast, Anthony, but my thought they would have been introducing in, like I think I'm not sure if Arthur and Olive had a kid in it, and also the Stan certainly had two kids with a woman that was like, don't know if he was living with her or what. I think they were still living at home or something like that. So you had two kids then, and you can guarantee that the extra characters in it would have been given more lines as well to sort of like, obviously the cast, the likes of Doris was by that time she was in her, would have been in her 80s. So obviously they were going to have to take some of the slack off of the older actors, obviously, and actresses, and give lines to the younger cast. If they want good actors, or you never took to them, just like you had in Only Fools and Horses when they brought Damien in and all of that, which really upset the dynamics for me, if you see what I mean. It's all right if you've got a kid that's in a sitcom, and it's always been in a sitcom like Tristram and George and Mildred. That's not an issue. But when they try introducing a new batch of characters and like kids, it ruins the dynamics for me. And I think that probably might have been the case with On the Buses as well. I don't know how it would have worked as well, because I'm presuming they would have had to done the filming up in Glasgow as well. Well, it was going to be STV, then it would have been up in STV studios up in Glasgow. So that's another interesting dynamic, because the cast would have all had to have moved, or at least travelled all the way up there to do the filming, which would have been hard going for, especially at their age. Which one's that, Scotty? So keep your questions coming in. Could be anything to do with a walking tour or anything like that. And as I say, watch the space because there'll be breaking news on our Holiday on the Buses cast reunion event for the summertime. So anyone that's interested in that, watch the space or watch the space of that of the link that I posted up earlier on in the group chat on Facebook. Yeah, when Westport Fat Lad, he's been to, I'm not sure if it's one or two of the events in Borehamwood. And Adam Rhodes has been to one of the Holiday on the Buses cast reunion events up in Prestatyn. Both are still with us. Anthony and Reggie's daughter, she lives down in Devon. So it's a long slack anyway, and she only had a small part in it, and she teaches. She works as a teacher at the moment anyway, so it's just too much of a journey to come up for the times like when I was doing the events every year, which were up until about 2019, 18. I think the last one might have been in Borehamwood. I think it was 2018. Might be in 2019, I can't remember which, but around that time anyway. Yeah, the plaque's still there as far as I know, Dave. It was there the last time I was down at the camp, which would have been about a year ago, I think, if I remember rightly. Cheers, James. Thanks for popping in. Enjoy your haggis dinner tomorrow, haggis supper, sorry. Or whatever it is you're having on the buns night. Should be a haggis supper if you're doing it properly. I do hope to get down there again, Dave, as well, and do some more videos around, obviously, for organising of any forthcoming events. I'll have to do a trip down to the holiday camp anyway. I'll take that opportunity then to go around and do videos as well of the filming locations. So you can watch the space for that as well. Hopefully sometime later on this year, maybe around March, April time. Probably more likely April, I would say. Okay, I've been online now for nearly 2.5 hours, so I think I'm going to call it a night now. What I will do is I'll just post up a couple of things again for anyone of interest who's interested in the event, the walking tours event. I'll post up my email address here for you. That's the email address. If anybody wants to email me to say they intend on attending the event, you can email me at that address just so that I've got an idea of those of you that are wishing to attend. And also, if you're interested in the holiday on the buses, the official Casco Union event, I'll just post up a link for that group there as a place for you to go and visit as well and join, and you'll find all the latest breaking news on that event there. That is not the fan club event. I'll say again, not the fan club event, which is totally different scale to this event, which has me doing the locations tours. You won't get any better tour than myself and more knowledgeable of the filming locations. I'll be comparing the event, and we'll have celebrities at the event as well, whereas the other one is just our basic fan get together and our crazy golf weekend. So that's the group that you want to go and join for that sort of thing. Okay, so I'll say good night. Thanks to everyone who's popped in and asked the questions as well, and I'll say a good night to you. Take care until next time. Good night, everyone.